How are you? Nice to
Hi,
see
how are
you.
you? Good.
In
Good.
Miami
Where are
at
you right
a
now?
at a park with my daughter.
That's right. When we were trying to figure out a time, you were like, I've got my daughter. And I was like, this is where we are. We've got kids, we're outdoors. My dog is at my mom, so he doesn't have a meltdown. This
This is life.
is
Yep,
life,
yep, yep,
right?
yep.
This is
But
what we do. Yeah.
it's beautiful out, so I'm
And
actually really glad I'm outdoors.
yeah, I know. And you do you're doing it all. You're a mom, you're planning a festival. I mean, what else what
So
else are you doing?
I have
So much.
a pretty hefty coaching. I do business coaching for wellness entrepreneurs and yoga teachers and just people in the.
Oh, I think I lost you. All right. Let's see if we can get her again. All right. There we go. All right. Technical difficulty. Technical. I can't speak.
That was so weird. It
Technical.
like kicked me
Hey.
out and then replayed what I had just said. I was like, whoa, what happened? Um, so yeah, so I take on that multiple hats I'm a entrepreneurial,
Yeah.
I think, addict.
And I love that because, as much as we love wellness and health and all that, there is a business. You need to know business.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a business at the end of the day. And those services and those skills, I know I could definitely use some help in that area. So I love that you offer that because it's something that people need. We might be great at one thing and we need a little bit of help in
Yeah,
another.
and
And
and that's
it's so
kind of what propelled
necessary.
me into both of these businesses because I had been my like past life I worked in publishing, advertising, photography, like I was in all the creative industries, graphic design, branding, and then I started teaching yoga in 2005 and realized how quickly that really like filled me up with joy. And so I kind of had these like very
Yeah.
parallel careers as a yoga teacher in the weekends, at
Right.
nighttime. And then little by little, the yoga teaching started taking over, and I would just freelance. So I didn't work in an office anymore. I was just freelancing. And in 2006, I did acro yoga teacher training. So I was one of the first acro teachers in the world,
Mhm.
the only one in Florida.
Wow.
So it opened up a lot of
Wow.
great doors to be a leader. Surf yoga boards, no, but definitely connect me. That's so cool.
Ooh.
Send me a message on the Instagram. I love that. My husband's a big surfer, and I pretend I surf. Let's just leave it at that. I pretend. But yeah, so it like I realized, teaching and being a leader in the yoga industry. I owned a studio here in Miami that people, kind of had this gap in between. Okay, so I did teacher training. Okay, so I've been, doing this like kind of moonlighting teaching, and I don't really love what I do. So I started saying, well, let me start teaching business of yoga. Like, how do you monetize? Because I had built a 6-figure professional yoga teaching business, like traveling, retreats, trainings,
Yeah.
studio. And I started teaching that at my own trainings, talking about the brand, like how to put on together amazing workshops, how to lead your own trainings. And in 2016, I started teaching that at the Yoga Expo because I wasn't the owner yet. I was a teacher, right? So
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
I was a teacher
Yeah.
at the expo, and in 2017, the previous owner calls me and he's like, "Hey Ari, do you want to take over the Florida Expo?" I was like, "What?" And it was divine time because at that time I was closing my studio, and I was like, "What do I do
Right.
now?" So I started my coaching
Right.
business, and I started. So it was everything like happened at the right time. It was really cool.
So before that, I mean, you were pretty much doing everything
Yeah.
else at that point, retreat, student, all that. So festivals weren't really something you were thinking about at that point. It wasn't really, I mean, you thought about leading them, teaching them, but once you're
It's a
behind the scenes, that's a
whole
whole
different
other
ballgame.
ballgame.
I
Like
had
that's,
I had
yeah,
like
yeah,
assisted in operations at some events because since I was in the like leading capacity of the acro yoga world, we put together the acro yoga festival. So I'd helped a little bit. So I knew a lot of the headaches. Um,
right.
we call them
Challenges.
challenges,
We call
yes.
them challenges,
But yeah,
right?
definitely putting something on. And a festival is also a little different than an expo because the festival really, the Yoga Expo has the festival component to it. We have, over 40, 50 classes, all the modalities, the fun, the music. But we have the exhibitors, which is a really great opportunity for business to business connections, for people to
Right.
network and
Right.
to say like, oh, collaborate. That's something that is very unique
Yeah.
to our show where we, the two, I guess like business models kind of had a baby. They
Right.
united, yoga means union.
I, yeah. And, and I love that. So you've been for a long time with the expo. So you lived through the
Yeah.
pandemic, through sort of the thick of it. And would you say that this is the first year where you feel like you're back, like you're ready, and it feels like it's normal, or does it still feel like
No, it feels normal.
different?
I had a show here in Miami earlier this year. Sometimes I forget what year we're in. And it was sold out. Everybody was really excited. It was much smaller for just many
Yeah.
reasons. I was like, let's just do it tiny. And I remember my husband and I kind of like sitting
Yeah.
and being like, oh, this is so easy. There's 300 people instead of 2,000 people. Oh, we miss our big show. And coming in
Yeah.
to, starting the 2023 with Los Angeles, which is my first time running Los Angeles. I bought out the entire brand earlier this year. And so
Right.
we
Right.
like dove head into LA, new territory, new exhibitors, new challenges. But like, it's so cool because the new connections that we're making, like with you, as one of our media sponsors, it's so wonderful because we've really created now a new twist. We're bringing like TED style talks to the show. We have more lectures. We have panels. So we're really wanting to bring the level of education to both like the mind and the body.
Yeah. So would you say for someone that's interested and maybe curious, if they've never taken a yoga class, they're scared, they don't know, can they attend this expo? Is there something for them that they'll
Absolutely.
be
And
comfortable
if
in?
you guys who are watching and are interested in coming, if you go to the yogaexpo.org, and there's on the menu, it's like the Los Angeles Expo, you can look at the schedule, and I've pretty much broken it down like beginner, intermediate, advanced, lectures, panels. So, music. Like there's a class called Yoga Nidra, which is basically the yoga of sleep. Like you just lay down on the floor. That's it. That's all you have to do. So if you've never done yoga, this is the least. We're asking zero of you. And there's dance. We're doing like a chakra dance. There's meditations. So we really, again, I've been blessed to be in the teaching aspect of yoga for 17 years now. And so I know a lot of great modalities, and I know that yoga is literally for every body, because yoga is not just a physical movement. Yoga is the mental, the spiritual, the energetic, and the physical. So if we really look at all those four aspects, then it gives us a beautiful palette of experiences for people.
I love that. And that's the thing. And one of the things for me, like with Yoga Nidra, it's the hardest and the easiest at the same time, because you're laying there, but you can't sleep, but you want to, but you know, to get the depth. So I love it. There's so many levels where you can participate. Of yes, I'm here.
Absolutely.
I'm here. I showed up. And that's the first step for anything, right? And then you can go deeper and deeper and deeper at your own pace, however you want. And this is one of the things I love about yoga in general. There is something for everybody. There's something, you know, if you want to move fast, if you want to move slow, if you don't want to move at all, you know. My 72-year-old mother practices, you know, and I do. So it's just something that, you know, everyone can enjoy. Is there one, I know you maybe can't play favorites, they're all your babies. Is there one teacher or lecturer or special session that
okay,
you're
so this is going to be a double win. I get to plug in one of my sponsors, and so my amazing coordinator, Sandra, connected us with a company called earthing.com, right? Earthing, which I've known about earthing and grounding for years, like a big fan, right? Like go walk barefoot in the grass before you go take an Advil, like do that first, right? So they became a sponsor, and they're having a class where they're bringing their new mat. So I got this mat as a gift for me to try it out. Like I run on like high levels of energy. I don't know where I get them from, you know, being a mom and running 2 businesses. And so I practiced on this mat for the first time a few weeks ago. And I tend to skip Shavasana because I got to get my practice in. And, you know, like either my daughter, you know, I have a 3-year-old, she's like either crawling on me or like I have a call. And I was like, I'm going to do Shavasana today. Like this mat is made for, you know, this. I swear I've never experienced, other than like when I'm in, you know, a retreat in the jungle or something, I've never experienced a Shavasana where you just felt like the ground was pulling you. It was really cool. So that class at the Expo, Earthing is going to have about 70 mats laid out for Peter. His name's Peter Stereos, amazing human being, by the way, and then Sienna Sherman. So they're both going to be teaching classes with the Earthing mat. So I've never been able to take an actual class at my show. But if I could, I would take that one just because of the level of also, you know, Peter's been teaching for over 30 years. Sienna's been teaching for over like 25 years. She's an international teacher. You know, Peter's an author, and again, you know, just amazing human being. So I don't want to play favorites, but I'm going to play that favorite. And then the other class that I would take, because I am, you know, an acro yogi, I would probably take acro and an inversion class just because I miss it. Like I haven't been able to really reconnect with that. So those are my faves. And then the panel. The panel we have, it's about 8 of us on this panel, and just the level of leadership, the level of groundbreaking technologies that we're presenting, you know, from earthing to a water company. So really cool just to get inside the minds of, you know, of us who are the leaders, you know, some of the leaders in the wellness industry.
Oh my goodness. So much going on. You guys, I don't know how you're doing it with a 3-year-old, you know. So I'm guessing when
I'm gonna head out on the 4th, so I can go one of my so I'm Peruvian, but I moved here in 1989, and my like first friend that we grew up with, she now lives in LA, so I get to hang out with her, and then, you know, get immersed for the show. We keep getting emails with lovely challenges from the people over there, and I'm like, oh, now I need to go tape the floor. I didn't know I had to do that. Thank you for letting me know that today.
It is, and I think we chat about this before, that we do a festival here in New York City, and it's an outdoor festival, which has its own set of challenges too. And I always thought, well, once you do it indoors, it's so easy. But you're like, no, there's a whole other set of things. The weather has been removed from the equation.
The other,
but
fire
then there's
marshals,
the other
and, you
things,
know, capacities and permits and fees and, you know, small things like that. But honestly, the the joy is what happens during the festival. So like all the challenges are worthwhile. Seeing everybody, you know, experience or connecting, meeting a new teacher who they had never heard about, being able to follow, you know, him or her, connecting with somebody on their yoga mat. Like maybe they take an acro class and they partner up with somebody and overcome a fear. Like that is what makes it worthwhile. And then the massage that I'm going to go get the day after the show will also be worthwhile.
I love that. So how many expos do you have planned for 2023 at this point?
At this
What's
point,
the schedule like for 2023?
It's going to be LA and Miami, or Fort Lauderdale. Fort Lauderdale is happening March 18th. And, you know, we're looking to do something perhaps like Midwest, like later on in the year to give a little break. But what's cool now is that we're also adding in some other like fun things like retreats as part of the expo. Yeah. You know, I've been leading retreats for over a decade. I teach people how to lead retreats, and there's something about, you know, bringing really cool people together in magical places. Like, so we're super excited about the retreats. Probably Mexico will be happening probably May or June of this year. And we have the podcast launching called Om All Day. So I've been busy. I've recorded a couple episodes. I'll be in there on Friday recording, just getting some guests in, but it's an opportunity for the continuity, right, of the event. It's not just like, oh, hey, January 7th, peace, see you next year. Like, how do we continue and grow that community and foster the essence of like, how does wellness play a very important part in our also daily demanding, busy lives as humans? Like, it's not just entrepreneurs, as humans. You know, I'm at the park and I see a mom with like 3 kids and I'm like, oh, she probably also works. And it's so important to really foster that essence where like, if you need the support, you know, you can get it by coming to a show, you can come to a retreat, or you can listen to the podcast and be part of that conversation.
What's one piece of advice, free business advice, or free life advice that you could give? You have a lot of hats, a lot of responsibilities, a lot of challenges. When it feels like it's a little bit too much, is there one thing, one mantra, one thought, one practice, one person that you go to that you're like, this will reset me, this is how I can get through this moment, that you want to share?
The one person I usually turn to is myself. And why do I say that? Because I've invested, I don't know, thousands upon thousands of hours. I mean, apart from dollars, right? Hours into studying with gurus, into studying with self-development. Like, so I have to trust myself first. So I like tap in, like, okay, what's going on? Like, where's the difficulty? You know, like I have that conversation with myself first. So I work with a 4A system, right? Assess, align, action, and then accountability. So if I'm not assessing what's going on first, then really, like, how am I going to be able to ask for help? Like, I need to understand. So tap into me, my own like power, my own energy, my own resources. Then usually I grab my husband, because he's always there for me. He's an amazing rock. And those are my 2 like initials. And I go outside. I literally like I will tell you, like, those moments where I've been like, I go outside, I have a tantrum like my 3-year-old, and I lay in the grass and I'll cry, or I'll do something, or I'll move, or I'll start jumping. Like, I gotta change my body. Change your body. Like you can have every single strategy in the books. You can be like, oh, strategy, right? Embody. Change your state. Yay, Sandra made it.
Yes.
I love that. So thank you, Sandra, for joining us. I know you're all busy. You've got
10 days.
about a week till the big day. 10 days and you're in that final crunch and getting everything ready. I wanted to also ask from you, what's one session, one workshop, one teacher that you're so excited about for this year for the Expo that you want to share
I
with us?
personally am looking forward to finally meeting Clean Uber from Earthing.
See, I said earthing too. I said the same thing.
You see? Oh my goodness. So
They didn't know I was going to ask this question, by the way, just so everyone knows. They had no
well,
idea.
I think everybody, honestly, I'm looking forward to meeting everybody. The main reason why I want to meet him is because I've known him for so many years, since I was doing retreats like 10 years ago, and I have never met him in person, but he has always support my events. He's always support the science of helping other people, making them feel better. I mean, he made his life out of doing something good for somebody that needs it, you know, and he did the work by becoming proactive with the earthing movement and also making it a science that's backed up with decisions by actual science and data that says it does help with inflammation, it does help with insomnia, it does help with mental wellness. It helps with in so many ways. I have been an advocate, and so that's one of the reasons I'm excited to meet.
And who doesn't need more
That's
of
what I'm
all of the
saying.
things you just listed? I mean, it's like, yes, please sign me up for that. I'll take this. Will you be offering actually any classes via Zoom or online for people that can't attend in person? Or no, you got to be there. You got to show up.
Oh, look, and Clint
We,
Ober's here.
is it? Hey,
Clint.
Clint. Yeah, I'm looking forward.
None
I'm looking
of
forward
this was
to meeting
planned.
you, Clint.
How did you both meet? Were you both friends? Because this is a big, like, working together, you got to like each other, or at least like the way you work. How did
Do
you
we
guys
like
know
each
each other
other?
before, or how did
No, absolutely.
We adore each other.
We adore each other. So Sandra and I did meet years and years ago, and we were, you know, social media keeps you connected. And I was really when I purchased the, you know, the brand this year, I was really clear that I didn't want to do it alone. Now, I've had partnerships in the past, and I don't, ever since then, I'm like, I don't do partnerships. I collaborate with awesome people, right? And right, we've maybe all had, you know, it's like an ex-boyfriend. You know, if you have a bad experience, you're like, oh my god. And I, you know, I put it out on Facebook, and I was like, let's see what my community brings me. And Sandra wrote me, and I was like, do I want like to work with a woman? Do I, you know, maybe like some male energy would be good. And so I didn't even interview her. I was like, hey, Sandra, I think this would be a great fit. Are you in? Like, it was like that, right? Like, we didn't have that many conversations about it. Like, there was just something that said, like my spidey sense, you know,
It
downloads from
felt
the
right.
universe. It felt so good. And I had gone to one of the events that she had produced a few months back that I was a speaker at. And the event was like spot on. And I was, and there was something about that I was like, if there's somebody in the world that like works as hard as I do, I think it's Sandra.
Maybe even a little harder.
Oh, for sure.
That my kids are old enough to feed themselves. They are all potty trained.
Yeah, I was literally like poop training my child, like for the last, like, you know, month. I'd be like, Sandra, someone, you know, when, like, we've had those celebrations during this time.
Yeah, and I have been doing events for 12 years, big events. In fact, my last event before the pandemic was 3,000 people. Mine were outdoors. We were talking about that. Mine were outdoors, and outdoor events is a whole other monster that it's like playing lotto. You don't know what weather, especially in Florida.
Especially in Florida.
Oh, yeah.
Florida's like a box of chocolate, right? You never know.
Yeah.
So
No.
what
Oh
really, you know,
no.
besides that, I love Ari and I have been always an admirer, and I just love her ethics and everything that she does. It's always on spot. It's that it's indoors. You don't have to deal with that. It could be
Yeah.
cold. It could be raining. I mean, so
Yeah.
it's safe. Liability comes
Yeah.
to this much.
Yeah.
I was actually just having a meeting with the volunteers, and some are saying, "Can I bring my kids?" I'm like, "Listen, this is the place for kids because it's safe.
Oh,
It's
that.
nourishing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If anything, they're gonna come out of there inspired." One of the big
Yeah.
memories that I have that is what really say, you know what, this is the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing, because it's a lot of work, but it's so rewarding, especially when somebody comes and says, "You know what? By the way, I volunteered at one of your events, and I got so inspired, I became a doctor. Now I'm a chiropractor in New York, and she was getting married." I'm like, "Oh my God, no way! Oh my God, okay, I'm done." This
And I will say for retreats, expos, festivals, and all these events, we were chatting about this a little bit earlier. If you've never attended one,
Yes.
try, because it could just be a fun day where you eat some food and meet some people. It could also change your life. And I
Yeah.
mean, that's all great. It's a win-win for everybody. So I always encourage people, attend festivals when you can, retreats when you can. If you can't do any of it, go for a walk, go touch a tree or do all these things. But like you said earlier, like, connect with yourself
Yeah.
and then connect with your community again. And I love that you're partners in this, because I know I'm one of those people who's like, I can do it all. And then I'm like, oh, but it's easier and more fun with another
absolutely.
person. Yes, you could do it all,
You
but
can do
you
it
can
better.
do it better
And
with
I
other
was
people.
actually really clear when I decided to bring a partner. I was like, I can't do it all. And I don't want to, right? Because like my priority, like
Yeah.
my core values is family and freedom.
Yeah.
And if I were to take on, you know,
Mm.
the my ambitious self, if I was like, I'm going to build like 2 multi-figure businesses alone, that's a recipe for
Yeah.
disaster. I wasn't going to be able to show up anywhere
Yeah.
100%. So I was very clear. I was like, nope, I don't want to do this alone. I want somebody that is, extremely diligent, that has the opposite aspects of, like, I'm this like creative firecracker, and Sandra's so like organized and like detail oriented. It was like perfect. I was like, I'm calling in my media naranja. My half my in Spanish it's called my half orange. It sounds really weird in
Yeah,
English.
yeah. You have to follow your passion. That's what's gonna
Yeah.
get you go through the night without sleeping. But you know that at the end of the day, not only you're gonna get a lot done, but you're also going to
Yeah.
be again rewarded with people telling you, "This is the place I needed to be. This is what I needed."
Yeah.
The answer I was looking
Mm.
for. I
Yeah.
couldn't wait. I mean, people are already telling us. I am so excited just because this is after the pandemic. A lot of people lost sleep. They never thought that ever
Yeah.
in their lives were able to be in a place with a lot of people. And I'm a people person. I like to be around a
Yeah.
lot of bodies,
Yeah.
and I cannot wait.
Yeah. And I love the timing too, that it's in the first week of the new year. So it's a time when a lot of people are reconnecting to
Yeah.
getting healthier, getting those habits back on track if
Yeah.
they might have gotten a little out of whack. And the timing's perfect, because that first year we're really trying to do those things and set those values and those, practices for the year. And what better way than with thousands? I mean, oh my mind boggles at trying to organize an event of that level, but I love
Hey,
it.
watch
It's so amazing
out!
that
We
you do
might
this.
next New York.
Um, Listen, we're ready for you. I told you, I got your places. I'm going to
Woo
get
woo.
you guys
Woo,
up, whatever you guys
woo.
need. I think it's an amazing thing. And I love, honestly, other women doing these things is inspirational, and really, like, it reignites my excitement for what I'm doing, and, connecting with other people doing
Thank
it. So
you.
thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. I love your magazine. That's my collector's item. I
It's so
cannot believe
beautiful. It's
the
so
beautiful.
beautiful.
Oh, I cannot. I'm telling you, I'm so proud of you. And
Thank you.
another Latina.
Thank you. I know. There's not a lot of us doing this. So, like my family in Puerto Rico is
Yeah,
very excited about this. So thank you guys so much. And thank you for letting us be
absolutely.
one of your media sponsors. Our magazine will
Yes,
be in
yes,
Yeah.
I
your
will.
VIP gift bag. So you can get your free copy. And if you have not signed up already for the Yoga Expo, there's going to be two, Miami
Yeah,
and
East
LA
Coast,
this
West
year. So you don't
Coast,
have an
East
excuse.
Coast, West
East Coast,
Coast.
West
That's right,
Coast.
bi-coastal, baby.
Thank-
And I wanted to also say,
Yes.
that
Yes.
I appreciate all the support from everybody. Like, even if you like just joined today and watched this interview, um, the amount of like awesome people that have come together for this is so beautiful, and onward and upwards.
Yes.
Thank you.
2023. Woo!
See you
Bye. You
soon.
as
Okay,
well.
Bye.
guys. Have a
Bye.
great
Ciao,
event.
Bye.
Best
ciao.
of luck.